So Wladimir Klitschko defeats Alexander Povetkin with a 12-round unanimous decision. Now, I picked Wladimir Klitschko to win this fight. My prediction video is still up. Go take a look at it. I picked Wladimir Klitschko to win this fight. I thought he'd win quite comfortably. I didn't think this fight would be very competitive. So I've got no hidden agenda when I say what I'm about to say right now. But what I witnessed in that boxing ring was two of the most disgraceful and disgusting performances I've ever seen in my entire life. That's right. Two of the most disgusting, disgraceful performances I've ever seen in a boxing ring. And I'm not talking about Povetkin's performance. Oh no. Povetkin tried his hardest. Povetkin fought his heart out. Povetkin did his best to win. Within the rules as well. Povetkin fought a very clean fight. He tried to make a fight of it. He tried to apply pressure. He tried to do his thing. And he actually had a lot more success in certain aspects, like avoiding Klitschko's jab, than I expected. He actually showed a bit better head movement than I expected. I thought that Klitschko would easily dominate Povetkin. I didn't think Povetkin would be able to slip the Klitschko jab, but he did. So I ain't got any criticism of the way Povetkin handled himself inside the ring in terms of his conduct. He tried his best to win with the limited, the limited amount of talent he has compared to Klitschko. He tried his best to win. So I ain't criticizing Povetkin. He fought his heart out. He fought like a warrior. The two people I'm talking about who displayed the most disgusting, disgraceful performances in the boxing ring tonight was Wladimir Klitschko himself and obviously the referee. When Wladimir Klitschko has faced pressure fighters in his career, he's always done a hell of a lot of holding, incessant. I've never seen a fighter in my entire life get away with so much holding and leaning on as Wladimir Klitschko in my life. I've never seen it. This guy is allowed to get away with so many fouls and leaning on his opponent and holding. It's insane. And every time Wladimir Klitschko fights a pressure fighter who comes forward and puts pressure on him and ducks underneath his jab, this is what he tries to do. Now, if you see the fights where Klitschko fought in America, the first Sam Peter fight and the Lamont Brewster fight, those were fights, because it was in America, where they did not allow Wladimir Klitschko to do the holding and leaning. And because they didn't allow him to hold and lean excessively on his opponent, he had two very rough nights. Yeah, he was down several times against Sam Peter, and he was obviously stopped by Lamont Brewster. Yeah, because when he's not allowed to hold, his opponent just has, puts continuous pressure on him, and he forces Wladimir to work, forces Wladimir to punch back to try and keep his opponent off. And so Wladimir has to expend more energy, and his opponent, because he's able to duck and dodge underneath punches, he keeps his energy levels high and he can go to 12 rounds, like we saw with Sam Peter in the first fight. But over in Germany, Wladimir is always allowed to get away with excessive holding, as he saw in the Peter rematch. And because he does that excessive holding and leaning on, it drains the opponent out very quickly. So it's a strategy that actually affects the performance of his opponent. Yeah, it actually drains their energy and strength, and then makes them a lot slower and tired a lot more quickly. And then Wladimir can land his jab and his right hand and his punches. It's a deliberate strategy to drain his opponent's energy. Yeah. And then Germany is allowed to get away with it. Now, this fight was in Russia, so I had hoped that they would at least allow this to be a clean fight, and they would at least stop Wladimir Klitschko from doing the excessive holding and leaning that he normally does when he fights pressure fighters. But no, it was actually the opposite. They allowed Wladimir to get away with more holding and leaning in this fight than I've ever seen him get away with before in his entire career. The referee, Louis Pabon, is a despicable piece of shit. I mean, this guy's not even a human being. What a piece of shit. To me, the ultimate The ultimate piss take was in the 11th round when it looked like Povetkin was on the brink of being stopped. He was on the brink of being, knocked out. And Louis Pabon finally stepped in after Klitschko shoved Povetkin to the ground, which he did numerous times throughout the fight. He shoved Povetkin to the ground. He stepped in and took a point away from Klitschko for shoving him to the ground. Absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, Klitschko had been shoving Povetkin to the ground throughout the entire fight. I mean, I have seen numerous fights. Let me tell you this. If this fight had been in America and Klitschko had been doing all that holding and shoving and pushing, 100% he would have got disqualified. Absolutely 100%. You can't get away with that amount of constant, incessant fouls in a fight and not get disqualified if you're fighting, with a referee that's actually doing his job properly. This referee was paid off. 100%. Yeah, the fight was in Russia, but guess what? Just looking at the referee, it was clear that even the Russians or the money people behind this fight in Russia did not have much faith in Povetkin winning the fight. They did not have much faith in him winning the fight, and they basically sold him out. They probably had all their money on Klitschko anyway, all the Russians, because that referee was a disgrace. He was even more biased towards Klitschko than the referees are in Germany. What a disgraceful performance by the referee and by Klitschko. It's disgusting. And HBO was saying the same thing all the way through the fight. Max Kellerman, Jim Lampley, and especially Harold Lederman was, shocked by the amount of holding Wladimir was allowed to get away with. They said it themselves in their own words. Wladimir is allowed to get away with murder in the ring with the amount of fouls that he commits. And if you're a pressure fighter and you fight Wladimir Klitschko, there's just no way you're going to be able to stand a realistic chance of winning a fight unless you got a referee that prevents Wladimir Klitschko from leaning all over you and shoving you around and sapping your strength and energy. Wladimir don't want to have to fight his opponent off. Yeah. So he leans on them, he holds them, he throws them to the floor. He does all this kind of stuff because he don't want to have to fight the opponent off with punches. This is why I've never liked Wladimir Klitschko as a fighter, but I've always liked Vitali, because if you watch Vitali against pressure fighters, he actually fights you off. Yeah, he's not such a coward that even though he's got the huge height and reach advantage and size advantage over most of his opponents, he's not such a coward that he's going to hold on to you and shove you down and throw you around, just to sap your strength because he feels intimidated by your pressure. No, Vitali's going to fight you off. Yeah, because he's a real man. He's going to fight you off. But Wladimir, as big and powerful and intimidating as he is, inside, this man has got the heart of a coward. I swear this guy's got the heart of a cow. That's why I don't like him as a fighter. I don't like his attitude. I've got a lot of respect for Vitali Klitschko, but Wladimir, nah, man, this guy's a weasel. Look at the way come on. What a disgraceful display by Wladimir Klitschko. Absolutely disgusting. Now, in terms of the way the fight went, like I say, Povetkin was doing a little bit better than I expected. He was getting underneath Wladimir Klitschko's jab. Not enough body punching in there, but again, Wladimir was leaning on him so much, it was hard to even get any body punches off. But Povetkin showed better stamina than we'd seen from him before. He was very determined. I believe it was in the second or third round, Wladimir did score the one legitimate knockdown of the fight, which was a short left hook which buckled Povetkin's legs, a little delayed reaction, and Povetkin went down. But Povetkin got straight back up and continued fighting. I mean, this guy is made of steel in terms of his mentality. Yeah, Povetkin wasn't intimidated by the knockdown at all. He didn't go into his shell, nothing like that. The guy continued to come forward and press the action. There was I believe there was 3 knockdowns in one of the rounds. I think it was like round 9 or 8 or something like that. There was 3 knockdowns. As far as I could see, none of those knockdowns were legitimate knockdowns. All of them were Wladimir Klitschko shoving Povetkin to the floor. I mean, Wladimir Klitschko should have got points deducted and he should have got disqualified for doing that kind of stuff, shoving your opponent down. Absolutely, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. And then, HBO was saying, this is why the American public haven't taken to Wladimir Klitschko. This is why. Because he does shit like this. And HBO are basically saying, in a roundabout way, this is why we dropped Wladimir Klitschko. This is why we stopped showing Wladimir Klitschko fights. Because of these type of performances. Oh my good Lord. What a disgraceful display. What a disgraceful display by Klitschko. Disgusting. So yeah, you know, the three knockdowns, whatever they was in round 8 or 9, as far as I could see, they weren't even legitimate knockdowns. Yeah, he was just shoving Povetkin over and this is just one of the worst things I've ever seen in a boxing ring. That's why I'm so furious about it. You know, like I say, I've got no agenda. I picked Klitschko to win the fight. Yeah? Go watch my post-fight videos for previous Wladimir Klitschko fights. I've been full of praise for his performances when he's performed well, within the rules. Like against Mariusz Wach. Even though Mariusz Wach was a poor opponent, yeah, I mean, cherry picking at his finest, I still thought the performance was excellent from Wladimir Klitschko. But when Wladimir has to fight one of these short guys who come forward and pressure him, he always does this disgusting, disgraceful shit that he should never be allowed to get away with. This referee should be banned from boxing. What a fucking prick, this referee. This guy's got no integrity at all. Disgusting. Fucking, I'm so pissed off of what I just saw. And I'm not saying that Povetkin would have won the fight had there been a real referee in there doing his job properly. I'm not saying Povetkin would have won, but it definitely would have been a lot more interesting because Klitschko would have had to expend a lot more energy actually fighting Povetkin off rather than taking the coward's way out, which is what he did, leaning his weight all over Povetkin, throwing him around and turning it into MMA. Honestly, Vladimir's got the heart of a coward, man. This guy, he wants everything his own way. He wants to be able to get away with incessive fouls constantly. You know what? I'm done, man. I'm done. This video's over. But Wladimir Klitschko, I hope someone knocks this prick out soon. Because this, like I say, man, I got the biggest amount of respect for Vitali Klitschko. He's a real fighter, and he's the only real man in the Klitschko family. Wladimir Klitschko is just a big cowardly bully. That's all he is. He's a big coward and a bully. Yeah? He wants things all his own way, even when he's fighting guys who are clearly smaller than him. They don't have the power, the strength, or anything, the talent that he has, and he still commits these incessant fouls. What a disgrace. I can't wait till this guy's gone out of boxing, you know? Can't wait till he's gone out of boxing. Disgusting. So yeah, drop your comments, but I don't give a fuck. If you want to hate, fuck you. If you want to hate on this video, fuck you, because I'm speaking the truth. Yeah, I'm speaking the truth right now. Ain't nothing I'm saying a lie. Ain't nothing I'm saying an agenda because I hate Klitschko for some other reason. Oh yeah, I hate him because he's the heavyweight champion and all the British fighters, you know, can't beat him. You know, that's what some idiots are going to say. Or, oh, I hate him because he's white or something. You know, someone always comes up with some stupid bullshit, right, to attack me with for the reason why I criticize certain fighters. The criticisms I'm making of Wladimir Klitschko in this fight is perfectly legitimate. Yeah, if you've got a problem with that, then you're a prick. It's as simple as that. You're a fucking prick. Because what I'm telling you is the truth. Wladimir Klitschko's a disgrace. Yeah, the way he fights and with the amount of holding and leaning on he does, it's disgraceful. And this referee should be fucking shot. What a prick. Yeah, I'm done, man. I'm done.